Begin with the White House, where President Trump hosted the Israeli prime minister earlier today. The president outlined a 20-page plan to end the war in Gaza. It calls for the return of hostages and for the war to end immediately if and only if both sides accept it. President Trump also issued a warning to Hamas, saying Israel would have full U.S. backing if it did not agree to the plan.
If accepted by Hamas, this proposal calls for the release of all remaining hostages immediately, but in no case more than 72 hours. So the hostages are coming back.
CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe joins us now. Ed, good to have you back on. We both heard the president's press conference today. What do we know about the plan President Trump outlined?
Well, this 20-point comprehensive plan to end the Gaza conflict has all sorts of suggestions on what exactly would happen. Among other things, the war would end immediately should Hamas in the coming days signal that it's on board with this, and then negotiations would begin. There would be swap of hostages. Israel would then release 250 life sentence prisoners, plus 1,700 Gazans who've been detained since the October 7th, 2023 attack. If hostages are all returned and members of Gaza want to stop fighting, they would have to turn in their weapons and would be able to get safe passage to receiving countries somewhere else in the region willing to take them. There's plans for a so-called board of peace that would be co-chaired by President Trump and the former British Prime Minister Tony Blair, who would oversee plans to essentially revamp the government there in Gaza and somehow start rebuilding that area. The White House even provided a pretty detailed map of how Israeli defense forces would start pulling out of the Gaza Strip if certain barometers are met. It's a pretty complex, and as the White House calls it, comprehensive plan. The issue is, though, every one of these bullet points, Tom, in one way or another, could be the source of negotiations to stretch over several weeks, if not months, especially when it comes to the governance issues, when exactly, how exactly hostages get swapped, and what that future Palestinian government would look like. There's also nothing in here about whether or not the Palestinian Authority would be involved in some way, and no explicit guarantee that Israel wouldn't seek to one day occupy the West Bank, which was a big sticking point for those predominantly Arab and Muslim nations that have been working with President Trump to try to get this issue resolved.
All of those bullet points also have to be agreed upon by Hamas. So I guess everyone is wondering here, has Hamas seen this proposal? And if so, is there any timeline on when the group might respond to it?
Qatar's prime minister and Egypt's intelligence chief have met with Hamas negotiators to share the 20-point proposal. According to a White House official, Hamas has said they would review it, quote, in good faith and provide a response. So we're waiting for them to respond.
Yeah, the whole world is watching this unfold. Ed O'Keefe watching it unfold from the White House. We appreciate it, Ed.